This mixer is looking a little bit tired. The planetary's starting to separate, it's missing some knobs. It's not sounding too great either. Let's fix and upgrade this mixer. It's going to be perfect when we get done with it. Now, as we take this band off, we are going to find some actual cheese under there. Look at that. I got news for you. It's not cheddar. It's probably Fromunda. Vomit. We got 4 screws to remove around this head. Get those screws out, we can remove this upper housing. We are going to find just some more yucky stuff. Look at that. Let's start tearing this thing down. There are 4 screws on this transmission housing here. We're going to go ahead and remove those. And that's going to allow us to weasel off this transmission housing right here. Look at all that goop. I hate these old plastic transmission housings. Typically, we will find fractures in here that allow those gears to go haywire in that gearbox, just chewing everything up. Now, take a look here. You see that little nipple? Where the one on this side is broken off, it's actually stuck in the machine right there. Don't get me wrong, we can all appreciate some nipple play, but this is extreme. I tried to pinch it, I tried to suck on it, but in the end, I just had to pry it out with a screwdriver. Maybe someday someone will invent a clamp. All right, enough about nipples. That's just foreplay. Let's get a little bit deeper into this machine here. So this is the worm gear. It's just a floating gear. It can just be pulled away from the machine. If you look underneath it right there, you see all that silver? Take a look. We got black right here, and if you look a little bit closer, you see a bunch of silver flakes right there. Those shavings are from damage to this worm follower gear right here. So if we take this snap ring right here and we remove that, followed by the hub gear and the pin that sits right beneath it, bloop, we will then have clearance to beat on this shaft. And then once we beat it off, we can go ahead and grab this worm follower gear out of here. Well, we get a closer look at it. All right, take a look here. You see these like little half moon cutouts right there? That is literally where material has just been stripped away from these teeth. Now, this is what that gear should look like in comparison. All right, we got to get all of this old stuff cleaned up. We don't want any of these metal shavings to remain in this housing. Once we get the housings all cleaned up, it is time to move to the gears. We already know this one needs replaced. You garbage. Now, we're going to come through here on the rest of these gears. We're going to pick out these teeth, and we're going to look for any damage or wear. All right, we need to take just a little bit off the top. Now, as we clean this stuff, we want to pay extra close attention. You see that crack right there in the seam of this sleeve bearing? It's unacceptable. It will cause future issues, and it needs to be replaced. In fact, we need to replace this entire worm gear right here. So this is the gear. This is the worm. Take a look. You see that gap right there? It's significantly larger on the new one. That is why this sleeve right here is cracked. This gear took a really hard shot. It got shoved forward on this shaft right here, putting a bunch of pressure on this sleeve bearing, cracking it. These gears are going to sit different in that housing. Look at the fitment. You see how that sticks out a hair right there? But when we put it on this new gear, it's basically going to be flush. Now, this is a level of expertise that we're going to give you that you're just not going to find anywhere else. Now, there are a lot of people trying to replicate what I do here, even going as far as to call themselves experts, and this is me calling them liars. And some of those people are going to see this video, and they're probably going to feel offended. And to that I say, good. Now, I'm not trying to say that there aren't people who do good work out there, but there are a lot more people who do bad work. And I am not saying this to bash them, I'm saying it to protect you. Just be careful who you work with. Now, I got the planetary, the gears back in place here. We're going to add a little bit of this forbidden frosting. Now, if we spin this fan right here, it's going to start to spin these gears, so we could use that as an opportunity to just dab on some grease here. Let's go ahead, we'll get our transmission housing back on here. And once we do that, we can go ahead and drop in our new speed board. All right, we got all of our clips installed. Let's give this baby a listen. Oh, she is purring like a kitten. Now, this thing is still looking pretty dirty. Let's get her cleaned up. Oh, this thing is literally sparkling like a diamond. And running like a top. Listen to this thing. It's absolutely gorgeous. But there are a few things that'll make it better. I'm talking upgrades. Starting with the quick install spring and washer, I actually invented this. At one point in time, you had to disassemble the entire machine to put these on, but instead you put this up, you pop this one like a key ring, and then you simply just twist that baby into place. Followed by doing the exact same thing with your washer. Then we're going to bend this back up into place, which gives you a brand new spring and washer. That's going to keep downward tension on this paddle to make sure that stays engaged down into the bottom of the bowl while it's mixing. Here's one without it. Look how much up and down play there is. You like that? Well, check this one out. So these mixers, they're kind of heavy. And we often store them to the back of our cabinet, so you have to reach back there and pull a muscle to get them out. But not with this slide mat. Take a look. Low profile, goes right underneath. You can literally slide this thing anywhere with ease. Now, we also have things like the pour chute and the beater blade, which go a long ways to improve the function of your mixer. Check it here. This pour chute just clicks right onto the edge of the bowl. Look at that runway. It gives you a lot more extra room to add ingredients. And then I don't know about you, I'm sick of ingredients that get plastered to the edge of the bowl. You have to stop mixing. You have to kind of scrape it back down in to get mixed up. That's where the beater blade comes into play. I mean, seriously, take a look at this thing. It makes full contact all the way down. Now, that means that anything that gets plastered to the side of this bowl, it's going to hit that scraper, and it's going to get scraped right back down into the center. And I am sure of that because, well, A, I use it all the time, but B, check out that shape. You see it has like a kind of a helical curved design? Because of that design, it kind of acts like a corkscrew. It just pushes everything back towards the center to be evenly mixed, which speeds up your mixing time and it just makes for a better end product. Now, the best part about it is we put all this stuff together as a bundle. You can pick that up in the link below. These things are going to improve the function. They're going to improve the longevity. They're just going to make using your mixer a lot more enjoyable. And I know you or a mixer user in your life will really appreciate that this holiday season. Happy Thanksgiving.